Here we go. We are live.
What a wonderful day. What a wonderful day, Melody.
Yes. How are you, John? It's been a while.
It's been a while. I'm great. I'm doing good. Melody, how about you?
I'm great. I am. So much stuff has happened, or yeah, has happened over time,
Mm,
and I'm happy about my progress in my life right now.
that sounds good.
Yeah. So, what are we talking
We've been,
about?
we've been away for some time and with a lot of things, things sometimes don't add up. We've been planning to do this. Again, something comes up. Melody's busy, Journey's busy, and thanks to God, today we are here trying to make this work out. Today we're just trying to find out what are the challenges that couples face, especially when they move from one place to another. We call it abroad. You're moving overseas. You're traveling full package. Your family migrating from the traditional place that you've known all along. You were born there. You studied there. You got married. You got kids already, and then something pops up that you've got to leave this place and move to a new place. What are the challenges that couples do face? And the person who's going to take us through this, who's got experience, is going to talk about her own experience, and then the general knowledge of what happens is none other than Coach Melody Chedemoyo. So it's always great to just get a short introduction of yourself to those who still don't know you, Melody.
Uh, yeah. So, my name is Melody Chedamoyo. I reside in the Kingdom of Ireland. And I am a relationship coach, like John said. I'm also an author and a speaker, and
Mm.
I am passionate about helping people understand that relationships can be, determined by intention. They can be deliberate. You can have a happy
Mm-hmm.
relationship because you choose to have a happy relationship, not because you accidentally met somebody, you know. So that's what we talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so that's what I do. I talk about this all the time. And the subject we are talking about today, with everything that we are hearing, everything that we are seeing, uh, in the media, the war in Ukraine, and in all the other places, and the fact that John and I don't even live in the countries where we were born. We moved to other countries, and how that has impacted me, how that has impacted John, how it impacts all relationships is something that a lot of people are not aware of. And we thought, maybe we need to talk about this. So we're talking about it.
When you're introducing yourself, Melody, there's something that you say that you reach people, you talk much about relationship, and people have to realize that it doesn't just happen by chance. People choose to have relationships, and they choose to be in a particular place. So, a lot of people talk about chance. It was my fate. It wasn't my luck. I just missed my star and all the rest. Today, I was watching one video that was talking about finding the right partner, and this guy was teaching something that is very, very special. He was talking about in these certain uncertain times, you need to stop searching for the right partner and start making yourself the right partner.
Yeah.
Because the moment you start looking for the right partner, you miss to develop yourself. You miss the focus on making yourself to be the right partner for the person who's supposed to be with you in that journey. So, just the same, it is your choice. Are you going to develop yourself? Are you going to make yourself prepare yourself and put yourself ready? And we are always told that when you show God what you want, and God is always there to bless people. God is always there to give you those luck that people talk about. But He's also a God who has a choice. If you cannot put yourself in the right place to make the luck to make the chances, to make the blessings happen, you're gonna hit the rocks. So it might sound hard, but that's the truth.
Yeah, it's an interesting it's an interesting way of looking at the world, isn't it? That you think someone else has to come here and be what I need, instead of I need to be the person that attracts what I want.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you do that, you up level
Mm-hmm.
yourself, and also you get in control of what you want. And actually, going back to our topic, if I met a good man. My husband he ticked all the boxes. When I say he ticked all the boxes, he was loving, he was kind, he demonstrated his love by action. He didn't just talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
He was tremendously generous. He was also really smart. And yet, when we moved to Ireland, within a few months, I wanted a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
And I really believed at the time that he was the one who was wrong. Now I know, through science, through
Mm-hmm.
looking at things differently, that when you move from your comfort zone, whatever your comfort zone is, you get into the fight, flight, freeze mode. So if you get into the fight, flight, freeze mode, and you are looking at your partner and they are the one who is supposed to rescue you from your situation, but they are also in the same mode as you are, can you see how that's going to be difficult? Because they also are, like, when you are as a child, we all remember this, when we fell and we
Mm-hmm.
ran to our mothers, and our mother would say, "Oh, I'm sorry, my child, I'm so sorry you fell down. Oh, it's going to be fine." And she kisses it better, and she cuddles you, and she makes it, that cuddle only makes you feel better, and then you feel like, "Oh yes, this is important." Now I want
Mm-hmm.
you to think about, if you cried like that and you ran to your mother and your mother kicked you and said, "Go away, stop bothering me," how would you feel? So that's what we do to each other. We give too much expectation. We go to this
Mm-hmm.
person who's also fearing the unfamiliar circumstances, unfamiliar air, unfamiliar environment, unfamiliar everything. We don't even
Mm-hmm.
have friends and family to support us and to understand. Like, if you pick up the phone and you say to your parents, or your friends, "Guys,
Mm-hmm.
things are really tough here," they'll say, "Oh, you should thank God, you're
Exactly.
overseas.
You're overseas,
Your
yeah.
life is
Nobody.
amazing. What are you complaining about?" And they're like, "I'm not, it's not amazing. I am really struggling. These people don't want me here. Oh, I don't like my house." Like, I still remember the first apartment. The picture is in my head. I remember walking to the door and my husband saying, "This is our apartment." And I was like, "I want to go home." Why? How are we
Mm,
even going to fit
mm,
into this little thing, right?
mm.
That's that's all that is unfamiliar. I got so excited. I don't know if you have a shop called Spa in your country, in Kenya at all.
Mm,
We have
mm.
Spa in Zimbabwe. We
Okay.
saw a shop called Spa in Dublin. We got, like, we own it. We got so excited because it was the only familiar thing we had seen in months. It's so funny right
Mm-hmm.
now because I've been through it. And the worst part about relationships is, then, if you don't have someone to tell you, this is what's happening inside your brain, you are freaking out because everything is unfamiliar. You get stuck there. This becomes your life. Not relying on your spouse, not being partners, not connecting becomes your life. And then
Mm-hmm.
you just start, taking frustration out on each other until you get divorced, or you live a bitter life where you're
Mm-hmm.
always swapping insults. I've seen it so many times. And even when I was talking to my friends and they would say, "Oh, you're only saying that because you married a good one." And I would
Mhm.
say, you know, he is the most frustrating person I've ever met. But what makes him good is
Mm, mm,
I still know I love him. I still know I want good to come out of me towards him. And I dedicate my life to doing that, to showing him that, to
mhm.
being that. And because I do that, he then turns around and he looks at me and he thinks, "You are my soft space to fall. You are my cuddle. You are my embrace when things are hard. When someone calls me the N word out there, I can come indoors and you hold me and you say it's okay. We are going to be okay again tomorrow." And but it has to be intentional. It has to be deliberate. It has to be, and it's not about going and praying God to come do it for you. It's about you actively doing it. Because some of these things we say, "Oh yes, God is going to take it away." Yes, God will take it away, but God works with people and God wants to see action from people. And you need to act. You can't say you love a person and yet you do all these other things that you do
Mhm.
while you are saying, yeah. So I've been writing an equation. I'm not good at maths at all, so my equation is obviously going to be stupid. But words plus action equals clarity is my equation. Words of love, words of encouragement, words of support, plus the action that demonstrates that gives the other person the clarity that you love them. And it has to be constant, it has to be deliberate, it has to be intentional every single day. If it's not, you have problems. And also, not looking at a person and thinking when they are harming, when they are in pain, when they come home upset,
Mm,
they walk through the door and John is upset.
mhm.
He's really upset. And you think it's about you.
Mhm.
You think John is upset with you. He wasn't even home. He has literally just opened the door. So the fact that this
Mm,
is action of opening the door and coming inside means he's upset with you. And you take that internally and you internalize it and you think, and then you think, "Oh yeah, now that he's upset with me for nothing, I'm going to pay him
mm.
back by also being upset with him for nothing." Instead of asking, "What's going on? Are you okay? Is there something I can do to make things better?" Even if sometimes it's just to leave you alone, right?
Exactly. Literally, we have. Today I was talking about something, Melody. Do you think, or I don't know what your opinion is, but I feel like the world today is so much on generalization of things. Like for somebody to come up with something, anything, even just an opinion, first of all, you want to think, what are other people saying? You
Mm.
want to ask, what has it been? You want to like, what is science saying? What is my religion saying? People have lost the strength or the power of coming up with new ideas, coming up with new intentions, doing things just the same way. Like there's a video I'm just doing and I'm editing it that I'm talking about who are you? Like have we questioned ourselves who we are to find out what exactly we are to come out there to just present ourselves without questioning like, oh, how am I going to appear? Like I've just decided that I'm gonna have my t-shirts on or I'm gonna have my shirts on. First of all, people want to say, most of the videos that people watch, what do they wear? Somebody doesn't just want to go out there and just wear what he wants and do that video and come back home. So I've seen this also getting into relationship where people want to start comparing. So how did it work for Melody? How is it working for John? We just don't want to have our traditional way of doing things and appreciating it because this is what makes me happy. This is what makes my hubby happy. So if we combine these two and come up with our own way of doing it, what is it going to bring on board? But you see, it's challenging because I want to look like maybe Barack Obama. My wife wants to look like Michelle, and we are not. So we are trying to make these things work out, and we are in a new environment. So you're trying to clown yourself as Barack Obama, which you are not. That's a new person. She's trying to clown herself to be a Michelle Obama, which she's not. And you are in a new environment, which is not your place. So you have got three things to fight here. By the time you are going to realize yourselves, you're broken.
Yeah, I actually think it's more things to fight because there's culture shock, right?
Mm-hmm.
You came from Kenya into Bahrain, I came to Dublin, and they speak English, but believe me, it's not the usual English that I'm used to. And they eat potato and cabbage, and
Mm-hmm.
they drink a lot, and I frown all the time, and I'm thinking there's something wrong with these people. There's nothing wrong with them. That's their culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm
It's their
trying to
culture.
fit
Mm-hmm.
into that. So what do I do? I start by going to as many pubs as possible with them, trying to, out drink them because so that I feel like I belong. And then I find I don't belong there because
Mm-hmm.
it's not working for me. Then I start. Then I go to my people, and I hang out with all the black people that are available. And then I get frustrated because these people are not. I definitely not my people. Because if I was back home, they wouldn't be my friends. I'm only hanging out with them because I don't know who I am anymore. We do all those things. And like you say, then we copy these people because we say they are our friends. Because they look like us, they act like me to some degree, but they are not me. I can't just say to myself, okay, this is me. I'm in a new environment. Who am I? What makes me happy, like you said? What makes me happy and what doesn't make me happy? What am I going to do with myself? Like my husband and I had a conversation about that. I think it was like the fifth weekend. We had gone to a friend's house, and like I could have predicted what was going to be said at what point. I was bored out of my head so much that I even said, guys, why, instead of wasting our time all the time, why don't we talk about how to start businesses or how to raise our kids better, how to help our children survive in this new environment, something else
Mm-hmm.
that is not things that we did 20 years ago. And everybody was like, Melody, you're so boring. And I said, okay, these are definitely not my people. I need to find new friends that resonate with me. I don't care what color skin they have, as long
Mm-hmm.
as we understand each other. And my life got easier because of that. Because now I didn't need to be a person I wasn't to impress people who didn't care. So, yes, it's important to ask yourself, what's important to me? What do I want to do with my life? Yes, I'm in a new country, but how do I become the best version of me in this new country? How do I develop coping skills? Where do I get help? There's counseling, there's so many other places. We don't use those
Mm-hmm.
resources because most of us insist that we want to continue to live the same way we did when we were back in Kenya or back in Zimbabwe, right? We want to insist that, this is the way we do things. And so you will do it the exact same way instead of saying, okay, what's the best way to do this? Not the way we have always done, because for you to pick up your bags and leave, obviously something wasn't working. I'm not saying leave your culture, but even then you can start looking at your culture critically and think some of the things we do culturally are stupid. Why do we do that? And start to, you know, change things. Like my dad used to say, your culture should improve your life. And if it's not,
Mm-hmm.
you shouldn't do it.
Shouldn't do
You
it.
shouldn't do it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Your culture should be like a shaving machine, and if it's not shaving your head, so what are you gonna do with it? You're gonna throw it and buy another one.
Yes. Yeah.
S- I get you so clear, Melody. And you see, I've seen a lot of people having very difficult time coping up in new environments. And what you have mentioned there, the culture part of things that you have to fight. And the moment you get to a new environment, it is not necessarily advisable to leave your culture, to run away from your culture, but you want to ask yourself, what am I seeing here that these people are doing that is much better, than saves time, saves life, improves me, makes them better than us? Because you see, to we cannot run away from it. The moment you're getting your ticket that you're going to travel from your country to abroad, you're going there to make your life better. And if at all a certain place is going to make your life better than your home, it means there is something good there
Yeah.
than that
But it
which is at
also,
your home.
yeah, but it also doesn't mean everything about you is not good either. So you also need to know what's important to you to keep and what's not important for you to keep. Because sometimes we dump everything, we throw everything, and
Mm-hmm.
including the baby with the dishwater, because we think, well, it's all what someone said, it's backward. I've
Mm-hmm.
met people who would say, "Oh, I don't eat sadza because eating sadza is backward, but I eat Chinese and Indian." And I'm like, Italian, and I'm like,
No,
can't
no,
you
no,
see
no,
what you're saying right now is not
no,
right? You know?
no. It's
Yeah.
yeah, it is. It is. I'll give you an example. When I came to Bahrain, my first time to Bahrain, and I guess I landed at around 8 in the morning,
Mm.
and it was very cold because it was January winter season, and in my whole life I had never experienced such kind of a climate. It was very cold, chilly cold.
Yeah.
So good thing the guys were supposed to pick me from the airport. They're already there. They've been waiting for me for almost an hour. So I just got there, and out from the entrance, or the exit, I saw women smoking at the smoking area. And you see,
Okay.
this was my first time
Yeah.
to see it, like women are just smoking publicly. In Kenya, it's something like women smoke, but they cannot smoke publicly. It's when people see a woman smoking, you're like, you're an outcast. That is what we believe from where I was coming. So you see, when I saw women smoking and they're smoking in public, and in my mind, what I had been told about this country, I was like, am I the wrong place, or am I just seeing? So my cousin came for me with a driver who came to pick me. So I asked her straight away, what's happening? Then she was like, oh, you just came. You got to start learning this culture because there are so many different things here. So you see, I came to realize that 99%, let me say 98% of the people around here are smoking.
Really?
Which, yeah,
Wow.
here, I'm telling you, each and every adult is smoking.
Wow.
Smoking, a cigarette is like water. Everyone is smoking. You look, these are the side, someone is smoking. You look the other side. So I was like, what a culture is this? But to them, it's nothing. It doesn't
That's what
seem
they
like a thing.
do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's normal to them. It's normal. You're like, why are you asking why people are smoking? That's normal. You don't smoke here. How? Why? People are asking you why you're not smoking.
That is so funny because
Yeah.
in 1985, we banned public smoking in Zimbabwe. So no,
Mm,
it's at 1985. So it's like that. And I came to Dublin and they were smoking in pubs and all that. And you would get in, and again, pubs were only for men in Zim, most of them, and majority of
mm,
them women wouldn't even bother walking in. And here, it's all those things that, and you need you but whether other people are doing it or they are not doing it, you still need to find out why you are choosing this lifestyle or not choosing this lifestyle. What is driving you? What is making you make this choice? Because when you understand that, you are
mm,
in touch with your values so much that you don't find yourself rejecting everything about you and resenting yourself inside, because you will do
mhm,
that, And when you do that, you can't be open to have relationships with other people when you are rejecting who you are, because it doesn't work.
Exactly. The moment you find, and in every teaching that I do, I tell people not to struggle to understand other people, but struggle to understand yourself. Learn yourself. Put yourself in a situation where you don't need to question, shall I or shall I not? You should know yourself from the word go. Like when you see that's a glass of water, you know, no, glass of water, not for me. When you see that's a glass of wine, you know, a glass of wine, not for me. Somebody should not be convincing you that, you know what, no, if you test these, this will change. You know, it shouldn't be coming like something new in your life. That
Yeah.
happens the moment people don't know who they are. You're just
Yes.
living. You get to a new environment. Like, for example, okay, we are talking about moving home to abroad, but there's also that migration from home into schools to colleges. You start
Yeah.
living with
Yeah.
people that you don't
Into
know.
cities. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah,
Hmm.
which is
Yeah.
also the same thing. You know, culture changes because you are in a rural area where you used to get some things. Maybe access to alcohol was not that much easy. Access to some kind of movies, clubbing was not there. So if you don't identify yourself before you make that journey towards the place where you're going, that's where people mess, because
Hmm.
you are going to try things you've never tried, and you're going to try them in the wrong way.
Yes. Yeah.
Mhm.
And you do this because you're trying to fit in. You're trying to find where you belong, of which that's an
The
instinctual.
comrades.
Yes, yeah, yeah. It's an instinct that we all have. We want to find a place of belonging,
Mm-hmm.
and you need to be aware if you're moving to any place, if you've moved to any place, and you feel insecure and you feel like you're always trying to please people. It means you don't feel like you belong, which means you need to start creating your own community of people that you feel like you belong to, people that you can be yourself with,
Yeah.
because it is only when you can be yourself that you can create room to be the loving spouse that you can be. Otherwise, you be play acting, and you can only carry that to a certain degree because the other person feels that you're not available. Like we have this thing where we think, if I don't tell someone something, they are not
Mm-hmm.
going to figure it
Mm-hmm.
out. And actually, when you don't tell me, I will
Mm-hmm.
feel there's something missing, and I
Mm-hmm.
will make an assumption what that
Mm-hmm.
is from my own experience and my own fears and my own whatever. And I'll make a conclusion that you are better off telling a person, I'm afraid, or I feel like,
Mm-hmm.
I wish so many times that I would have said it, vocalized it to my husband. I feel insecure. I feel afraid. Like, I still remember when I
Mm-hmm.
said to him, I feel afraid, you need to come pick me up from the bus stop because
Mm-hmm.
I see people that make me nervous. And then he started coming to pick me up because he realized that as the person I am, I wouldn't have said that if it wasn't true. And the fact that he was willing to come, walk me to the home every day, it also means,
Mm-hmm.
to me, it was a demonstration that he cared about me and my well-being.
Mm.
Yeah. So
Wow,
yeah,
Melody.
that's what I wanted us to talk about today. I don't have anything else to add unless John has something to add. And
No,
yeah.
perfectly. We have really talked about this, Melody. It's a topic that perhaps it might be taken lightly, but it is very important because I've seen a lot of people getting misguided, not because people are forcing them into being misguided, but because they have not read themselves. They do not know what they like. They do not know what they don't like. They don't know what their culture says, and they don't know. You know, there's what we call, you train your culture to make you the right person that you're supposed to be, and you don't allow your culture to train you to make you the right person because it might hinder you from learning a lot of things.
Yeah.
So you take it and you train it, then you incorporate what you find. You see, um, we can never say we belong together if we cannot learn from other cultures. If we
Yes.
remain rigid with our cultures and we don't want to learn, because, like I told you, there's so many things here. People are smoking, and smoking is just like a normal thing. It's like drinking water. So if I don't learn from that, there's so many things that I have to learn from that. Okay?
Hmm.
So if I did not know who I am, then this kind of culture would affect me negatively. But
Yes.
the moment I knew who I am, I take it lightly. That is the life they chose, and that is not what I belong to, even though it's looked at normal. Because it reaches a time when somebody is offering you um, a stick because you're somewhere, you're seated, you're enjoying maybe at the park or somewhere, just relaxing, and somebody comes there, he wants to smoke, he gets up, and people are so generous here. That's the one thing that I really love here. People are so generous. People, somebody offers you things even when you don't ask for them. So they will sit around you and they remove the box of cigarette and they're offering you one stick, and you're like, oh man, sorry man, I don't smoke.
I
Like,
don't smoke.
huh? Why? You don't smoke? Like, how? That's crazy. And you're like, it's crazy because I don't smoke.
It's crazy that you do. It's so funny, isn't it? It's like we yeah, but if you know yourself, you're going to say, "No, thank you. I'm good." And you can still,
Yeah.
if you're comfortable, continue having a conversation with that person. If you are like me, you run a mile because
Mm.
I can't even deal with cigarette smoke. So I'm not coming to Bahrain because of that reason.
You got to come.
And so we learn to be and to discover who we are. But when you travel, you even learn deeper about who, because you don't have the comfort of the protection of your culture, of which your culture, like John has
Exactly.
said, can entrap you and keep you in a box, or it can free you
Hmm.
to start exploring. But you start to explore more when you're in an environment where you don't know people, because then you are being really true to yourself. Because I know of some, like someone saying, I've met people saying things that they, in their local language, that they would
Hmm.
never say if they were back home. But because they assume nobody hears them, they say it means
Mm.
in their culture, in their characteristic, in their values, they are okay with this kind of lifestyle. The only reason that was keeping them in line is the fact that
It's the
someone was
culture.
telling them, yes, was telling them or frowning at them. It's just like when a student leaves school, the rules of the school were the ones that were keeping them in line. The moment they left school, they go wild. It's because it's not the rules, it's the person's individual choices that curtail them or allow them to do these things. So we are just saying, when you find yourself in a new environment, be very aware that there's something happening in your brain that will affect and impact your relationship, and it will impact your relationship negatively. It's not the other
Hmm.
person's fault, it's not your fault. But when you start to pay attention to these things, then it will start to change the way you think. And if you need help with things like that, I am here. You can come talk to me, and I can give you some tips on what to be looking out for and how to mind yourself and your relationship, because there's always you and then the other person, and your relationship is in the middle of you. And if you mind your relationship and you mind yourself, you find you get on very well with this other person here, as long as they are also minding themselves. So thank you so much for listening and for being there and for always being here. And for people who joined us live, thank you so much. You were not sending any comments, but we were looking out for them. And hopefully next time, in a month's time, definitely, Jen and I will be back again to talk to you about another topic. And if you have topics that you want us to discuss, you can always send us direct messages, and we would love to hear from you. Thank you.
It
Goodbye.
was it
Mm.
was amazing having you, Melody. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Thank you. You too. Take care. Bye.
Bye bye.